The tide is high here in San Diego, and so is the level of competition in AUX. Captaining blue in Series 2 is Sam Fischer. She finished Series 1 with 8 hits for a league-leading .615 average. Rookie Danielle Gibson will captain orange. Gibson kicked off her pro career with 5 hits, including 2 home runs on Wednesday night. Taking the #1 spot is catcher Deja Mulipola, who was named MVP 3 times in 4 games. She mashed 8 hits, highlighted by a triple and a home run. Series 2, Day 1. The action and fun are unlimited. A beautiful day here in San Diego as Game 1 of Series 2 gets set between Team Mulipola and Team Fischer. Today's game is presented by Aspiration, the global leader in sustainability as a service. 6 games over the next 3 days, and it was an action-packed Series 1. What will Series 2 have in store for us? Well, superstars everywhere. She's one of them, the former Tennessee All-American Madison Shipman. I'm Chucky Kemp. That's the question. It's a shortened AUX season. What does Series 2 have in store?
Well, you know what? I was really impressed by the way that these young women were swinging the bats in Series 1, and I'm looking forward to see how the leaders from Series 1 perform in Series 2, knowing there's a little bit of added pressure going into Series 2 because they had to draft their own teams. That's something that makes this league so much fun, so unique, is the leaderboard and the point system.
Oh, here it is, 42 of the world's best. That makes 14 players on each team. We get that innovative scoring system. We'll tell you all about that as the game goes on. And this is a shortened season, so we only get 3 series. This is number 2. If you want to make a move, now would be a good time to start. Deja Mulipola wasted no time in getting started, Madison. She was spectacular in Series 1.
I was so impressed with the way that she was swinging the bat in Series 1, and she has this unique ability to adjust her barrel angle depending on what the pitcher's bringing at her. If the pitcher's throwing a rise ball in there, she can get her barrel on top. If the pitcher's throwing a drop ball, she's going to drop the hammer and get the ball to leave the yard. One of the best hitters in this league.
Well, she did a little bit of all of these. You see 3 ways to get points. The win points, which are so important. You hear that from all the players for winning games and individual innings. You get the individual stats, and Deja was pretty good there. And then the MVP voting, which she picked up 3 MVP ones, so she got 180 points from that alone. The 3rd member of our team, Key Michael, down there. She will join us throughout the game, talking to whoever you want her to. You can use #KeyCam to ask her questions and see what we want to do with our KeyCam. Well, here it is. One of the best stories in AUX so far, I think, Madison, is Sydney Littlejohn Watkins. She gets the start today for Team Fischer.
Yeah, Littlejohn Watkins coming out of retirement to play here at AUX. Has that curveball that she's going to throw to both sides of the plate. Elite movement on the pitches. That's the first thing that you're going to notice when she throws that first curveball out there, is just how much that pitch breaks. Specifically going up against right-handed batters, it's really difficult for them to make adjustments because there's such late break on the pitch. When she releases it out of her hand, it looks like it's going to be a strike right down the middle of the plate, and just at the last minute, that thing's going to break about a foot the opposite direction.
Well, she'll have to face a really impressive lineup. Deja Mulipola said she's excited to see what this lineup can do. Haley McClenny leads it off. Megan Wiggins, 2 home runs, 8 RBI in the Series 1 to lead the league. Sierra Romero, the list goes on. This lineup is loaded.
It is absolutely stacked top to bottom. You've got Haley McClenny, one of the best hitters in the entire world, and Megan Wiggins, a veteran, her 12th professional season that Megan Wiggins is playing, and she is coming out swinging the bat fantastic. She looks like she's in great shape, doing a nice job out there.
Take a look around the defense circle. Hayward, Rhodes in the outfield. There are some really impressive gloves, as good as the bats have been. Fischer at the corner, Chittister at first. Up the middle, it's Sydney Romero and Andrea Filler, and Taylor Edwards behind the dish for Sydney Littlejohn Watkins to face Haley McClenny to start things off in Series 2. There is that curveball. We have such a good view. That is just absurd movement.
Well, that's that backdoor curve that she's going to throw to the left-handed batter. So she's going to start it in the right-handed batter's box, and it's going to curve back over the plate. Now, of all people here, Haley McClenny is the most familiar with that curveball coming out of the hand of Sydney Littlejohn Watkins, having played with her at the University of Alabama.
McClenny in her 3rd season of Athletes Unlimited. Littlejohn Watkins in her 1st. She tried out last summer, didn't make it, and she told me, she said, look, I just wasn't ready. But continued to work as she hits the outside corner again with that curveball to make it a 1-2 count. She played in Italy professionally last summer. And she's excited to be here. She's had a smile on her face everywhere I have seen her. Now she's all game face, but prior to this, it has been all smiles. Can't run it in there, ball 2. McClenny, a superstar from Morris, Alabama. You mentioned it, played at Alabama, member of Team USA since 2013. 2-2, right off the handle, and that couldn't have felt good for McClenny.
Yeah, got a bit jammed up on that one, maybe fouled it off of herself too. You can see her walking, shaking that one off a bit. So that's that curveball again that Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins is going to throw to both sides of the plate. So when she starts it more in the middle of the plate, it's going to curve right in on the hands of those left-handed batters. And you have to do whatever you can to try to get that barrel out in front of you to keep that in fair territory.
McClenny hit just 182 in Series 1. Right side, diving stop Chittister, but nobody's home. Wouldn't have got McClenny anywhere.
Well, this is what Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins can do. She struck out the last 5 of the 6 batters she faced the other day, and look at the break on this pitch. She's going to start it on the middle outside part of the plate, and it's going to continue to carry into that left-handed batter's box. She is so effective against those right-handed batters because of that deceptive movement coming out of her hand. By the time you swing, the pitch is in a completely different location than when you initiated your swing.
She finished Series 1 in 12th place. She gets her first look at Megan Wiggins today. Megan Wiggins, the timeless wonder out in left field, has been playing more than a decade of professional softball, and she is still at the top of her game. Hard hit and a stab by Fischer. Great play to get the lead runner at second.
Well, we've seen what Sam Fischer can do with the bat in Series 1, but how about this defense over at third base? This one's a hard hit ball off the bat of Megan Wiggins right to Sam Fischer, who knows immediately where she's going to go to the ball. Throws it to second base to get that lead runner out. Not able to get the double play, but still huge for her to be able to get her glove to that right side to make a play on that hard hit ball.
Sierra Romero in for her first trip at the plate. Littlejohn-Watkins with a curveball for strike 1. Sierra led after day 1 on the leaderboard. She did not pick up a lot of win points, but she was so good individually. She watches ball 1. Sierra in 7th place entering the day from Murrieta, California, just about an hour away, a little over an hour with that California traffic. Watches ball 2.
Sierra has such a great story too, somebody who had to deal with injuries and even follow-up surgeries after that initial one, and she has just continued to battle back to get her body back into playing shape.
Ooh, hit Littlejohn on the foot. It's a base hit for Romero. Hopefully Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins is okay. That was a rocket. No chance for her to get out of there. I think it was right on her plant foot, so it's just stuck.
Line drive right back into that left foot. These balls are coming so hard off the bats of these batters that these pitchers have absolutely no time to react.
She already has a brace on the ankle, it looks like. So we'll see if she's able to stay in. At the very least, going to give it a go.
A couple of warm-up pitches to make sure she's all right. You know that did not feel good.
Well, it's funny,
off of that foot.
Right before we came on the air, you were talking about the difference between turf and dirt, and at this level on the dirt, how quickly the ball is coming. Now, in that scenario, there was no bad hop.
Nope,
that was an absolute missile.
It did not matter. Turf, dirt, that one came off of Sierra Romero's bat so hot. That's what makes this league so tough, is the pitchers just cannot make any mistake because the hitters are so good, they're going to capitalize on it, as Romero did on that pitch.
First and second, that was 10 points for Sierra Romero on the single, and here's the captain, Deja Mulipola. Strike 1 on the outside corner. Mulipola, Garden Grove, California native, played at Arizona, two-time National Catcher of the Year. This is her second season, but her first not coming straight out of college. And that's one of the things I asked her about, and she said it is really hard as we take a look at this last pitch.
Yeah, this is that backdoor curveball, so she's going to start it almost like it's going to come right at the right-handed batters, and it's going to curve back into the strike zone at the last minute. Another backdoor curve right there. That's what she wants to do. She wants to get ahead with the backdoor curveball and then to try to see if she can get you to swing and chase at the pitch way out of the zone.
That's the ask of these hitters, and pitchers for that matter, to be prepared for this level of hitting, but you're asking Deja Mulipola to come in not off of a college season where you've really had to do a lot of individual prep work, trying to find somebody to throw you BP and hit that curveball.
If you can have somebody that throws you BP with a curveball moving that much, then you have found a real gem in a BP thrower.
Swing and a miss. Out number 2. That's 4 points for Sydney Littlejohn Watkins.
Love the way that she bounces back after that line drive, hit right off of her foot. She goes right after Deja Mulipola, getting ahead with the backdoor curveballs inside and then goes low and away with this curve. The last minute break, not only is it moving away from the right-handed batter, but also a little bit down in the zone. And that's a big strikeout for Littlejohn Watkins.
Trying to hold Team Mulipola to no runs, give themselves an opportunity to win the inning in the bottom of the first. Wiggins on second, Romero on first. Tori Vidalis fouls that one away. Vidalis from Texas A&M hit 286 in the first series, a triple and a walk. She comes in 35th place. That's one thing you'll notice. You can see some decent batting averages and individual numbers. There is such a huge emphasis on winning.
It's all about those team wins, the inning wins. That's what another reason why this league is so innovative. Of course, you want to get the singles, you want to get the doubles, you want those individual stat points, but ultimately as a team, you're trying to come together to win the innings and ultimately win the games, because that's where you're really going to jump up the leaderboard.
Dallas watches it. It was close. Evens the count at 2-2. Be a really good start for Littlejohn Watkins if she can get out of this. Spins that curveball in the inside corner. Gorgeous. That's +4 for her. And they're out of the inning with no damage done.
Love this pitch location by Sydney Littlejohn Watkins. The backdoor curveball freezes Tori Vidalis.
This is what everybody's chasing, those 3 medals here in beautiful San Diego, California. Inning points up for grabs for Team Fischer here in the bottom of the first inning. As her lineup comes to the plate, they will get set to face Georgina Korick in her first season out of Port Charlotte, Florida, out of South Florida.
Georgina Korick just had a fantastic career at USF, and she's somebody that can truly work all parts of the strike zone. She can work up, she can work down, east and west, but she has a really efficient changeup that she's going to throw in any count. She can throw them back to back. I've even seen her throw 5 changeups in a row before, but she has so much confidence in that pitch, and she is going to need the off-speed pitch going up against these batters. Somebody like a Victoria Hayward, who really sets the table for the rest of this lineup, batting .533 in Series 1. And you talked about those inning points. It's going to be crucial for Team Fischer here to get on the board early.
Well, Victoria Hayward tied for the lead with 8 hits, and you are not going to get her on that. Well placed, slap down that third base line, and Vic Hayward has her 9th hit in just 5 games.
Hayward's so good at just putting the ball in play, and you can see Lily Piper a little bit back on her heels when she went to field that ball at third base. And as soon as you give Victoria Hayward that extra step, she's going to take advantage of it, and she does exactly that to get on the board early. She's also somebody with a ton of speed. I would not be surprised if she tries to steal to get into scoring position here.
Little sacrifice right here, and that's points, although it's an air into right field, so the runner's going to advance. Hayward to third, Sydney Romero to second. So 10 points for Hayward on the single. Sydney Romero comes up, lays down the sacrifice bunt. That's 10 points for her.
It's a great sacrifice bunt laid down by Sydney Romero, just doing her job again, showing you just how important it is in this league to win every single inning. They know that 10 points are on the line here if they were able to get a run across the board. And now they have 2 runners in scoring position with one of the hottest hitters in the league coming up.
Sam Fischer, the captain, came in that 3rd slot in Series 1, has a huge chance for inning points and to put her team in a really good spot in this 1st inning. Korick, nothing hit hard yet, really. I mean, some well-placed balls and use of speed. The air on Piper, she's in a tough spot against the Simi Valley, California native.
And I like that spot too, outside. Of course, you're going to get up against some of the best hitters in the world, but also you have to establish that strike zone early in this ball game. For these pitchers trying to figure out which pitches they're going to get called, maybe a little bit off the plate so far in this ball game. Seems to be a bit of a tighter strike zone than we've seen in some of the other games in Series 1.
3-0 count to Sam Fischer, and she walks for the 3rd time here at AUX. Bases loaded for Jordan Roberts.
Now batting the designated player from Florida, number 41, Jordan Roberts.
Jordan Roberts out of Florida with a huge chance to break this game open here in inning number 1. Swings and fouls it back. It was inside off the handle.
If you're Jordan Roberts here, you're looking for anything up in the zone, anything you can drive deep enough out into the grass to get Victoria Hayward to score from 3rd. And knowing that, Georgina Korick seems in the first 2 pitches of this at-bat trying to attack even further up in the zone to see if she can get a shallow fly ball to where nobody scores.
1-1 pitch, fouled off of Roberts. She's gonna take a minute right off the inside, and on her ankle it looked like.
Yeah, it's the off-speed pitch. So not only is Georgina Korick taking a couple of miles per hour off of it, but you see that late downward movement too. When you get your barrel on top and around those pitches, it goes straight into your foot.
1-2, just a touch outside. Hayward over at 3rd, Romero at 2nd, and Sam Fischer at 1st. Bases loaded, 2-2 count, nobody out. Upstairs, full count for Korick.
Now this is where you need to bring something into the strike zone, force Jordan Roberts to put it in play, because the last thing you want to do is walk in a run here.
Driven left side, that's down in front of Wiggins. Hayward and Romero will both score, and Fischer holds it 2nd. That's 10 points for everybody on Team Fischer as they win the 1st inning and put up a 2 spot with nobody out.
A great swing adjustment, too, by Jordan Roberts. You're going to see the location of this pitch from the view of the umpire, a little bit up in the zone, and she gets her barrel to it, drives it down into left field. And, of course, Victoria Hayward's going to score easily, but look at the jump that Sydney Romero got off of 2nd base, had her eyes on that ball in left field the entire time, so she was able to score easily on that base hit out to left as well.
Everybody gets the 10 for Team Fischer. Roberts tacks on 10 extra for the single as well. And there is still a lot of work to do right now if you're Team Mulipola. Swing and a miss there against Amanda Chittister in the 5-hole. I think has been one of the best pros over the last handful of years. That is really saying something with the density of talent in this league. And she scorches one foul. Down in the count 0-2. Chittister out of Michigan in her 3rd season for Athletes Unlimited. Came in that 19th spot. Didn't have a great individual Series 1, hit just 176. But got a lot of win points to help her climb up that leaderboard.
Chucky, that was a great looking changeup, and I'm really not sure where that pitch missed.
And that's coming from a hitter. Skied into right center field. Fischer able to advance, but they hold The runner Roberts at first, so first and third now.
Well, we just talk about how these pitchers just cannot make mistakes out there in the circle because these hitters are going to capitalize on it. And I think the same goes for the defense, too. When you have an opportunity to try to get an out, you need to make sure you get it. And I think back to that throwing mistake that Lily Piper made over at third base on the sac bunt. I think that completely changes the momentum of this inning if they were able to at least get an out there rather than letting two runners be on board.
Taylor Edwards watches ball one upstairs, 1-1 count. Just to build off, I mean, you just don't want to let it get away. There's so much on the line. You could still go out and win the next 6 innings, but you don't want to give up a 4 or a 5 here in the first inning and then be looking at it like, oh my goodness, we've got a lot to make up for the whole game.
Well, you think about, too, with the errors and some of the mistakes, it's another batter that has another opportunity to see the pitcher. And as a batter, the more times you can see the pitcher and what they bring in there, the more of an advantage you're going to have when you step up to the plate.
Popped up, Rangel Mendez in right. Fischer will not test her. It's a wise decision. The former Sooner with a nice throw in. 2 away, first and third.
It's a great pitch by Georgina Korick. Does not seem phased by the tight strike zone back behind the plate, not phased at all by the runners on board, just keeps on attacking these batters, working that pitch outside and gets a nice easy fly ball out to right field for out number 2.
Hits the inside corner. Nice spot against Andrea Filler. That second base spot, that middle infield for them, really good. Filler probably more of a natural shortstop, but with Sydney Romero, she moves to second. That is a dynamic middle infield.
I think we've seen the middles for all these teams, especially in Series 1, making fantastic plays up the middle, a lot of double plays. When you're going up against these hitters as pitchers, you need your defense to be able to make those types of plays behind you, to be able to set up depending on where you want to attack a certain batter. That's where the elite level of these players really stands out. To me, a lot of it is the defense and the way that they position themselves and the way they anticipate where the balls are going to be put into play.
1-2 upstairs. Georgina Korick got herself into a little trouble here. Maybe a little bit of help from her defense would have avoided it. What would you say, and I'll hopefully say this and they don't get an out right here immediately. Inside, might have got Filler, did on the knee, but she's in a tough spot right now. You were once a college and professional hitter torturing young pitchers. What would you tell a young pitcher in the pro level about settling in against this type of batters?
You know, I think you still just have to continue to attack the outside part of the plate. That's a changeup that just gets away from her there into that right-handed batter's box. But when you try to over-adjust and you try to bring the ball too much over the heart of the plate, that's when these hitters are really going to capitalize. So even though you're trying to adjust, you're trying to get those strikes called, you need to not over-adjust and bring it right over the sweet spot, because that's exactly what these hitters want you to do. And she's not afraid to attack the inside to these batters. That one looked like it hit right off the knob of Shannon Rhodes. She's trying to get it underneath their hands to get out of this inning and goes right back to that inside spot.
Nice part about getting hit by a pitch like Andrea Filler did, you do get 8 points for that, so you at least get some reward on the leaderboard. A big chance for Shannon Rhodes right here. That pitch just a little outside. She's hit that spot a few times. Hasn't been able to get it yet.
I love that spot. I think it's a great spot for a curveball outside to the righty.
This one driven deep center field. McClenny goes back and makes the catch at the warning track. A loud swing, but nothing comes of it. It is a inning win for Team Fischer. Chalk up 10 points for everybody on that side. Still so much to play for. 2-0 after 1 inning. Great start for Team Fischer here in Game 1 of Series 2. They lead 2-0 over Team Mulipola as we go to the top of the second inning. Our second look at that lineup for Team Mulipola, led off by Kaylee Clifton here in the second inning, the former Oklahoma Sooner. She is dangerous. I say that as I think all of these women are dangerous at the plate. Great spot for Little John Watkins. Kaylee Clifton was in Oklahoma City, had to leave before the Sooners sealed the deal. Sydney Romero came later. She was on the coaching staff, but Clifton was there cheering him on the whole time as this is hit into right field. Rhodes grabs it for out number 1.
Now batting the designated player from Marshall.
Today's game presented by Aspiration, the global leader in sustainability as a service. Quick out number 1 here in the top of the second inning for Sydney Littlejohn Watkins. Allie Harrell, another first-year player out of Marshall, and she takes one off the wrist, so that's 8 points for Harrell, and they've got a base runner with just 1 out.
That's an easy way to get you some 8 points right there. A curveball. Sydney Littlejohn Watkins trying to work this inside to Allie Harrell, and it just hits right off of her right elbow. Big smile on her face, knowing, hey, she just got on board, set the tone for the rest of her team.
That brings up the big bat of Lily Piper. Former Ohio State Buckeye. She can really swing it as she fouls this one off for strike 1. Here's what she can do at the plate. These are the hitter stat points that they can earn. Single, double, triple, home run, all makes perfect sense. They can get 10 for a stolen base, walks, and hit by pitches. That's 8. If you are caught stealing, that's really the only way to lose points as a batter. That's -10. It almost, I mean, I think as a base stealer, even if you're elite, I think that makes you think like, we've got some really good defensive catchers in this league. Piper, left field, and gone! Lily Piper ties the game in the top of the second. +40 for Piper on the home run.
I love the swing adjustment by Lily Piper on this pitch. You could see her eyes tracking it on the first couple of pitches that she saw in this at-bat, and this one she absolutely crushes. It's a backdoor curveball coming inside to her, and she gets her barrel out in front and drives that one 232 feet out to center field. It's a big blast for her to be able to come up with the run production for her team, especially after the bottom of the first inning. Maybe didn't have the best outing on defense, but able to make up for it right there with her bat.
She evens the score and puts them in prime position to even the inning points as they lead here in the second inning. Piper kind of struggled in Series 1, 154 average, just 2 hits, no extra base hits. She changed that quickly right there. Third-year player out of Ohio State. We get a look at Nicole Rangel-Mendez. Fouls that one toward her own dugout. 0-2 count for Rangel-Mendez in her first season out of Oklahoma. From Norman. Hit .214 in Series 1 and entered today in 16th place on the leaderboard. .02 from Littlejohn Watkins. Curveball just misses outside. Sam Fischer, captain over at third base, said, she's like, I knew when I went into this draft I needed pitchers. So Sydney Littlejohn Watkins, as she paints the corner, that's +4 for her for this second out of the inning. She was picked 6th overall after a great Series 1.
Well, this is the way you bounce back after giving up the home run on the at-bat before. You go with the backdoor curveball outside. She didn't get the call on the pitch before, but she goes right back to it, adds a little bit more late movement on that pitch, and brings it back into the strike zone.
Rounds it foul. McClenny back up, singled to start the game back in the first inning, but she was picked up on a fielder's choice right after that. Sits in that 5th spot, 450 points for her. This is the 5th game for all of these players today. And Team Fischer will play a doubleheader. You'll notice they'll be the home team in each game. All 3 teams will play a doubleheader one of the next 3 days. They will always be the home team in those games.
It's a quick turnaround for these games, too. These players not only have to make sure that they're out there performing at a high level out on the field, but also taking recovery very seriously to make sure they can go out there and perform the next day. There's a lot of strategy when it comes to double headers, too, and just playing this massive amount of games in a short amount of time. I'd imagine that a couple of them are pretty sore after that first series, getting back into the swing of things.
Are you saying they're old?
I did not say that at all. I think I was sore just watching them play in Series 1. And these young women are professionals. I think that's something that you learn too, being in the professional league, is how to take care of your body, what your body needs. When you're in college, you've got somebody telling you what you need to do on a regular basis, and that's an adjustment jumping up into the pro league. As you watch how these other athletes take care of themselves. Pitchers need something different than hitters, obviously, but even from pitcher to pitcher, they're learning what they need in these types of situations to be able to perform their best out there in the circle.
You basically have less help against an even denser talent group as McClenny grounds to second base, and the play is made by Andrea Filler. A chance to win the inning for Team Mulipola if they can hold them. Some of the best colleges across the country represented here this weekend. We'll connect some of the dots for you when we come back.
Being a national champion as a coach is completely different than a player. People ask me this question a lot, and I feel like it is more rewarding as a coach, and it's just that much more special because of just the work, you know, behind the scenes stuff, and just being able to help these girls and kind of walk them through your experience and allow it to help them and shape them into what they're going to do on the field. And it's really incredible to just be a small piece of their journey and then watch them celebrate at the end.
Sydney Romero on the staff for Patty Gasso at Oklahoma after helping her to a national championship as a player, now doing it as a coach. She was the last one out here in San Diego because she was still in Oklahoma City, finishing the job with the Sooners, but she's a stud. I mean, just
absolutely.
Unbelievable.
She's fantastic, and I love that response of how it was more rewarding for her on the coaching side of things.
Ball was spinning really awkwardly off Zirkle's bat to Kaylee Clifton. I would imagine they will record that as an error, which will mean no points for Zirkle reaching base. And it is an E6. It's still a base runner here for Victoria Hayward as they need a couple runs to avoid losing this second inning. About those schools represented. How about Michigan at the top? I think that would surprise a lot of people, but if you go back to that era of Sierra Romero and Abby Ramirez, Haley Wagner, Chittister wasn't at the same time, but there were some really good teams for Carol Hutchins.
Some great teams at Michigan. One of my former high school teammates, Jordan Taylor, was a phenomenal pitcher for Michigan. Sierra Romero and I never got to play on the same field at the same time on the same team, but I always felt like we were competing against each other.
Hayward lays down the sacrifice bunt, and that's 10 points for her as she moves Zirkle into scoring position.
Nice play by Lily Piper again. Another sacrifice bunt. A great job by Victoria Hayward, but she's somebody with a lot of speed, so Lily Piper had to charge that one in a hurry. You can see where she started about halfway up the line, anticipating that this bunt was going to be dropped down, comes all the way across in front of the pitcher's circle to be able to make a play on that one.
Sydney Romero up again. She was with her sister Sierra in Series 1, and that was one of the best middle infields that this state has probably ever seen from the same family, but they get split up today. And I just, hearing them talk, having been around them a little bit, you just get the feeling, I don't think they're loving on each other today. It is all business.
I'd imagine that there's a bit of competitive spirit between them two, a little sibling rivalry, I'm sure. But I don't know about you, but I could not help but to have a smile on my face every single time a ball was hit up the middle. They were turning it to each other. just that intangible communication, almost like they knew where the other one was going to be before the ball was put in play. It was something really fun to watch in Series 1.
And a chance to play in front of family and with each other. Very unique experience. Father's Day, of course, tomorrow. We'll have the family here, the younger sister, Sophia. Younger brother, Mikey, who's a stud in his own right, heading to LSU, if not the major leagues, even sooner. What a play by Piper at third, makes the throw. Great stab over at third by Lily Piper. And she has seen a lot of action, made the error earlier, but trying to make up for it right there.
That was a great play over at third base by Piper. And Sydney Romero had been pulling the ball down the left field line foul, and this one driven right up the line. That's a great backhand. Going to her knees, has to spin all the way around and make the throw across the diamond. An elite level play by Piper.
That helps them inch one out closer to an inning win here for Team Mulipola as Fischer swings through the first pitch, 0-1. Sam Fischer walked earlier in the game and ended up stranded at third in their 2-run first. Again, out in front. Corrick taking a little off here.
Loving those back-to-back changeups. I wouldn't mind even seeing a third one right here, back-to-back-to-back.
You said she'd do it. Inside, Fischer fouls it off. Haley Wagner out in the bullpen for Team Fischer. Another one of those veteran pitchers that she selected. Had Little John Watkins, who was really good in Series 1. But O'Toole and Wagner, two of the most experienced pitchers here. And there it is on the outside corner. Corrick with a clean second inning and an inning win for Team Mulipola. It's 2-2 as we go to the top of the third. To the third inning we go, all tied up at 2 apiece as Megan Wiggins will lead things off. She's got a big bat.
The 12-year professional veteran and Megan Wiggins, and when you throw her inside, you are throwing right into her wheelhouse. Some of the quickest hands in the game. 2 home runs already in AUX, both on inside pitches, and she just absolutely annihilated both of those. In the first at bat today, trying to throw her outside, a hard hit ball over to Sam Fischer at third base.
Down the line, that is fair, and extra bases for Wiggins. To second as she strolls in with a leadoff double off the glove over at first base of Amanda Chittister.
There's 20 points for Megan Wiggins. Another inside pitch, trying to get it underneath her hands, and Megan Wiggins just turns on this one straight down the first base line. It tips off of the glove of Chittister and scoots away down that right field foul territory, allowing her to move into scoring position.
That brings up Sierra Romero 1 for 1, singled in the first inning. Was not able to come around and score. Big smile on Sierra's face. She is so happy to be back out there competing. You talked about it, the knee injury, multiple surgeries. But here she is back on the field with her sister, Series 1, against her in this one. Sydney over at shortstop. And of course, was watching the first day of AUX, and Sierra hits a home run, and I'm thinking, what did I expect?
Well, I love the approach to her at-bats, too. When I think back to that home run, she knew coming into that at-bat that she was going to look for a changeup. She was sitting changeup. As soon as she got it, she annihilated it over that left field wall. And I think that's one of the hardest things to get back into the rhythm of as a batter, is to get back into how you feel when you're facing live pitching, to be able to go up there and attack a certain pitch. But she seems to have just hit this AUX season in stride, swinging a really hot bat up there.
Ground ball up the middle, Romero delivers. The throw home, and Sierra will have to stay at first. It's 10 points for her as Wiggins comes around, and they are on the board in the third with a 3-2 lead in the game.
Just great barrel awareness by Sierra Romero, hitting it right back up the middle. You remember she did that back in her first at-bat, and she does it again here. That curveball breaking away from her. She doesn't try to do too much. She's not trying to pull it out to left field. She goes with it, drives it back up the middle for a 10-point single, and brings a run across in the top of the third inning.
She said before the AUX started that she is feeling 100% mentally and physically. Mulipola deep to left center, and tracking it is Zirkle. She's able to make the catch for out number 1. There is a little breeze out here, and sometimes it can pick up a little bit. It almost looked like Zirkle was just trying to dial things in out there in left field.
It was a high hit fly ball too. Mulipola got a bit underneath that pitch. Fly balls can get a bit wobbly up there in the wind when they're hit high enough.
You're more of a grounder at shortstop. Keep it on the ground
I
for you.
preferred the ball being hit on the dirt.
There you go.
But I had to catch a few fly balls in my time.
Tori Vidalis struck out her first trip to the plate. 198 points so far for her. Reaches down. This is in foul territory. Called off. Nice play over there by Andrea Filler, communicating to Amanda Chittister in foul territory for out number 2.
Well, you just said it right there, Chucky. It's that communication. Filler having to run a long way for this fly ball. She's tracking it all the way. And when she gets about to where she knows that she can make a catch on this one, she calls Amanda Chittister off. Chittister bails. Filler able to make that catch easily.
Clifton for the second time against Sydney Littlejohn Watkins. Trying to keep the damage at just 1 run here in the third. There's that curveball catching the inside corner. I mean, it is a joy to watch that pitch from this angle.
It's incredible how much spin and how much movement she gets on that pitch to both sides of the plate. You can see these batters really early in the count trying to track it all the way to the glove just to see how much it's moving. It's one of those things where as a batter you have to adjust your barrel to where the ball's going to end up, because if you swing it where you see it, you're going to miss it. So you have to anticipate how much that ball is going to break moving away from these right-handed batters. Somebody like Sierra Romero over at first base did a great job knowing that ball was going to continue to move away from her, driving it back up the middle.
In the dirt, 2-1. Kaylee Clifton's third season. Improved last summer in her second year to a 29th place finish. She was 41st in her first season. A reminder, in the championship season, there's 60 athletes. There's only 42 here, so when we're referring to past results, if you hear like a 41st, that's not second to last. Is a little fewer more athletes, one more team added into the Athletes Unlimited championship season. Two-two. Outside. Full count to Kaylee Clifton. Two-time All-American for Patty Gasso at Oklahoma. Fouls this one away.
You can see even after that swing too, Kaylee Clifton kind of throwing her hands out, just a reminder to herself that she has to stay on that pitch for as long as possible, knowing that it's moving away from her. Those are the types of elite level adjustments that you see out of these pro players.
Outside ball 4, and Clifton takes her base. That's 8 points for her and brings Allie Harrell to the plate with the runner in scoring position, now first and second.
Allie Harrell's only seen one pitch in this ball game. A curveball coming inside actually hit her on the elbow. Looked like maybe that was the game plan for Sydney Littlejohn Watkins going up against Harrell to try to get that ball underneath her hands.
2 away. You talked about the mental adjustments at this level. Was there something when you got into the professional level with the NPF? Did you talk to a pro? Was there a veteran that you went to and said, hey, what's the key at this level?
Constantly talking to my teammates, I think, was a huge part of playing at the professional level. You're so used to at the collegiate level having your coaches tell you the scouting reports, and when you get to this level, you're really relying on your teammates and their experiences. I know I was talking a lot to Kelly Kretschmann and just what she was seeing out of the pitchers. As you can see that curveball outside.
Runs just a little too far. Kelly Kretschmann wasn't a bad one for you. She was decent.
Fantastic. One of the absolute best. One of the best players to ever do it. One of the best human beings as well.
Ooh, and that one.
Tough take. I like that spot though, a 1-2 count, working it low in the zone. I've been impressed with the way that Allie Harrell has swung the bat too. She does a really nice job specifically on outside pitches of keeping her barrel on it, driving it down that left field line. That was a close take.
Trying to go back to that spot and does. A little fist bump there from Sydney Littlejohn Watkins. She strands a pair. Team Mulipola gets 1 run in the 3rd. We'll have Key Michael. She's with a special guest when we come back. Chance to win the inning for Team Mulipola. Team Fischer coming to the plate, bottom of the 3rd inning. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our team, Key Michael.
Hello, I'm here with Kevin. This is Sam Fisher's husband. Can you just walk me through a day in the life with Sam? Because I think she's one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, to not being surprised, she is the same way on the field as she is off the field. She is 100% herself all the time. We have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot, we joke a lot. You know, it's just she's a fun person, but she's 100% authentic.
I can concur with that because when I first met her, I felt immediately comfortable. But can you guys just tell me how you guys met? I love a good love story.
Yeah, so met back, shoot, actually it's been longer, but so I was overseas for a little bit, and she was playing softball for a little bit before that. Came home to our hometown, Simi Valley, and we're actually both in a wedding at that time. Hung out for a couple days before, went to the wedding together. She actually knew my older brother and some of my actual friends and stuff like that, but you know, just kind of that whole wedding weekend type of deal, kind of hit it off there, and then you know, it's been a love story ever since, right?
And she is captain here for the first time this season.
Yeah.
What was her reaction? How did she react when she found out she was going to be captain?
I mean, I think she was just coming out here. She was just doing her thing, doing what she knows best, playing softball. She put in a ton of work in the off season. I mean, I swear, it's just every single day was something. She had a lot of support from some of the people that live close to us at ASU and everything like that. So I think she came out here, did her thing, and you know, of course, captain came with that. So.
What a legend. Well,
yeah.
We're rooting for you, Sam, and
Yes.
thanks so much for being on the broadcast.
Yes, of course.
See you guys.
Thanks, Key. Sam Fisher, talked to her about all the work that she put in this summer, and said it's so hard, and the players will stress this, how hard it is at this level to stay prepared. And she laughed a little because I asked her what was different, and she's like, man, I was so bad the first 2 years, is basically what she said. And she's like, but I just took a ton of BP. She has a friend, Josh Trevino, who's a former volunteer assistant coach at Texas State, and said he threw her BP all the time, and not just BP, but trying to get her out in different counts. And I have to think, and you've been in that position, that's got to be invaluable.
The live BP is definitely what sets you apart, for sure, and it's that timing aspect. And we even talked, even with somebody like a Sierra Romero coming back into this season, just the mental approach of being able to go up there and attack and hunt certain pitches in certain counts, and seeing live BP on a regular basis. And I'm not just talking about, you know, a machine or front toss, but somebody actually in the circle trying to get you out. That is something that has really taken Sam Fisher to an elite level here in this AUX season.
See our Geico leaderboard there on the left side of your screen. Still the same top 3, Mulipola, Gibson, and Fisher up there. We will see some movement, though. This is something that will change. Those were 3 brand new captains. They had not been captains the first 3 years of AUX. Of course, Gibson in her first season. So that one misses downstairs from Corrick. 3-1 to Taylor Edwards. There's Sam Fisher. First week as captain. She is full of energy, always entertaining. Good spot on the inside corner. 3-2 to Taylor Edwards. She's been around a while. Former All-American at Nebraska. Her and her twin sister Tatum led them to the Women's College World Series, and she takes a walk. Corrick thought she had her.
Corrick went for the 3-2 changeup. Maybe missed it low in the zone. Taking another look at it here. To me, it looks like it's crossing right about knee high. I like that spot. It's the umpire's view right there, calls it ball 4. We have seen a tight strike zone in today's game compared to some of the other games that we've seen in AUX so far.
That brings up Andrea Filler. She was hit by a pitch in her first at bat. And a reminder, there are inning points on the line right now. Team Mulipola could take 10 points for everyone on their team if they can hold Team Fischer to 0 runs here in the 3rd inning. 2 away for Filler, 2-0 count. Edwards on first. Filler out in front. Or was she? It is foul. I thought that went so high, I lost it from back here. I thought it went way left, and Megan Wiggins was right by the pole.
Wiggins was saying that it was foul, but Sam Fisher ran out onto the field to see if she could try to convince the home plate umpire that that was a fair ball. This one stayed in the air for such a long time, got underneath it. Ooh, that was a close one. Immediately wow. Wiggins trying to convince everybody that that ball was foul.
You just got to grab my head and like, I was looking the building down the left field line. This is popped up and stays in foul territory, but might have been a little miscommunication there. Corrick has a big smile on her face. Any out in this league as a pitcher? Invaluable.
And I think that's something that has to be made, and it all comes down to the communication as you're running to that ball. Look at how far Georgina Corrick goes for this one. Deja Mulipola also running for it, and it almost looked like everybody in that situation thought the other one was going to catch it. Lily Piper running a long way from 3rd base as well. Constantly have to communicate on your way over to those fly balls. Ooh, I think Shannon Rhodes just got hit on deck.
She said, I'm going to go down the line and into the dugout.
She's like, I don't need any more practice swings. I'm good. I am good.
Fortunately, they didn't have a ton of heat coming off of it. Luckily bounced. It was spinning a little bit. This one hit well. Wiggins back and makes the play for out number 3. That's 10 points for everybody on Team Mulipola. They hold Team Fischer scoreless. It's 3-2 overall as we go to the 4th inning.
Like I was middle of the box, took the first swing, and I was early, and I was like, a little late, so. Hey, if it doesn't work here, it better work on the other end. I don't know if I was gonna get that for you, but I don't know how pitchers are about touching the ball, so I feel weird, because then they're like, the whole inning's ruined, and I'm like.
I love that last line right there. As we take a look, it's 3-2 Team Mulipola. They got the inning points. I wasn't sure about how pitchers are touching the ball. Are pitchers divas?
Yeah, pitchers like things done a certain way. And so as a defender, you have to respect whatever they want in the circle, whether they want you to catch the ball for them, they want to catch the ball, whatever is going to make them perform at their highest level in the circle, you absolutely do when you're playing behind them. Somebody who's performed at a high level her entire career is Haley Wagner, who we're seeing coming into this ball game. She's got a nice curveball, rise ball combination coming from the left side, but it's that changeup, something that she has been working to develop, even throw it at multiple speeds as well, because she knew that having an off-speed pitch, trying to keep these batters off balance, was going to be a key for her success in this pro league.
Longtime pro, 3rd season in Athletes Unlimited, 2 top 20 finishes to her name in 2020 and last summer. Here's Piper earlier.
Got a home run on a backdoor curveball, a pitch that just didn't break quite enough, and she got her barrel out in front. We even heard her talking about the adjustments, about how her first swing she was early, so she moved up further in the box to get it on time.
Ground ball bounced out of Sid Romero's glove, but still makes the play at first.
Smile on Romero's face over there, went for the backhand, and it popped out initially, and I thought Lily Piper was going to be able to leg that one out. Taking another look at it here, out in front on this one, goes for the backhand, but picks it up barehanded. Being able to get that ball across the diamond in a hurry is what allowed her to get that out.
Wagner spins one in for strike 1. Nicole Rangel-Mendez steps in, struck out looking her first time up against Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins. Top 20 for her so far in her first season. Swings and misses 0-2.
I like this move too, going from Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins to Haley Wagner, because their pitches move in completely opposite directions. So you have to really adjust the direction in which your barrel is swinging when you're up there at the plate.
Swing and a miss. 4 points for Wagner and 2 very quick outs for Haley in the circle.
She attacks the zone and she has great movement within the strike zone. So this pitch is not only tailing away from the lefty Rangel-Mendez, but it's also moving a bit up in the zone. You can see how her barrel just barely misses underneath. It's a nice looking pitch out of the hand of Wagner.
Top of the order, Haley McClinney. 1 for 2 so far. Watches ball 1 upstairs. Wagner trying to go very quickly here in the top of the 4th inning and set her team up to get back even on those inning points. Catches the outside corner. Haley Wagner, lefty from Orange, California, played at Michigan. She played with Abby Ramirez. We talked about that earlier. Abby Ramirez and Sierra Romero at Michigan. Fouled away. Dynamic combo of Wagner and Megan Betza at Michigan. I can remember watching them in the Women's College World Series back in 2015. They lost to Florida that year, but Wagner threw game 2, and it was their only win in the series.
I was at that World Series coaching.
There you go.
For the Tennessee Volunteers that year. First year was the volunteer system.
Swing and a miss. How about Haley Wagner? 10 pitches in the inning and a 0 in the top of the 4th for Team Mulipola. Morgan Zirkle due up next on the other side of this break. Team Mulipola leading Team Fischer 3-2, but inning points on the line for Team Fischer in the 4th inning as they held them scoreless. As we continue to celebrate 50 years since Title IX was passed, our next 30 for 30 film is titled 37 Words about the battle for equal rights in education and athletics, the efforts to nullify its impact, and how this landmark civil rights law still resonates today. First 2 parts of this 4-part film feature premiere Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Plus immediately following the premiere. We will be on the air on the 23rd, the 50th anniversary of Title IX. A special show that day, and such an impact still that we're feeling that these athletes have talked about already. Cannot wait for that 30 for 30.
It was great listening to some of these athletes and their responses to what Title IX means to them, and I even like to put myself in their shoes, what it means to me. I wouldn't be able to have the opportunities to do what I do for a living had it not been for Title IX and all the women that pushed for that to happen. Really excited that we're going to be on the air that day.
Well, you've been a part of that too. I mean, we talk so much about what that meant, but also still now you look at these pro players, they'll talk about it too. Alicia Ocasio gave an incredible speech last year after she was crowned the Athletes Unlimited champion and talked about, like, hey, play as long as you can. It means so much to these little girls and boys watching you do what you do and do what you love, and showing that, hey, this is here, we should have these opportunities, and we're seeing it this week with some just outstanding softball.
Well, I think opportunity is really the word that stands out to me, just the opportunity for these young women to compete at the professional level. You even see a lot of these young softball players that are here in the stands being able to watch their idols play at this elite level, something that they can aspire to be when they grow up. Of course, they watch them play in their collegiate careers, but also to be able to watch them this closely at the professional level too is something that shows that these young girls can dream big because they can play at this high level as well.
Check it out. Some merchandise right outside, Title IX. And Athletes Unlimited, 37 words on the back of those.
What else you guys got?
Love it.
Show me the words on the back.
It's our key cam. putting in work. Ground ball left side, Lily Piper. She has been busy today over there. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Got Shannon Rhodes.
And she's made some phenomenal plays over at third base, and you got to imagine that that gives somebody like Georgina Korick a lot of confidence in the circle, knowing that she can throw inside to these right-handed batters because of the plays that Lily Piper has been able to make over there.
How much of an adjustment is it, not just pitchers, but as a hitter, and you didn't have a lot of struggles your rookie year in the pros. You were the rookie of the year, and you dominated. But how much of an adjustment is it when you do come in and you hit a little bit of a run where it's not going as it normally would? And you're dominating in college. All of these players did. You did. You've been there. What's it like when you do have a little stretch when it's not quite as easy as it normally is?
Well, and I think at any level, whether it's at the professional level, collegiate level, travel ball level, whenever you hit any sort of slump, it's really challenging, and not so much from a physical level, but from the mental standpoint of things. Nice job by Zirkle putting that ball in play. I think ultimately what you have to do is to just keep going out there, keep swinging, keep attacking, because as soon as you get a little bit timid, that's when the game's going to take control. I think when you jump up to this level, what's really great is being able to have so many other minds that are similar to your own in the dugout that you can feed off of, you can learn from throughout these ball games. What maybe helps them in those situations? What do they look for against certain pitchers? All things to help you in your game.
Another chopper. Couldn't quite handle it. That advances Zirkle to second. Hayward's on base. Well, new season and a new look and new merch. Be sure to check out all of the brand new Athletes Unlimited items and collections, including AUX softball gear at the AU online shop. Go to shop.auprosports.com to purchase yours today. You got plenty of new stuff.
There's a lot of merch over there. I like it.
First and second, 1 out. Team Fischer looking for an inning win and to even things up or take the lead here in the 4th. 10 points for Zirkle and Hayward on their infield singles. Romero under it and Wiggins in. Makes the catch, there's 2 away. Romero 0 for 2. She laid down the sac bunt in the first, but really nice job by Georgina Korick to take care of Sid Romero so far.
And got her out in front on that off-speed pitch. Looked like Romero was anticipating something harder coming inside and just a bit out in front.
To the captain, Sam Fischer fouls it away. Be interesting to see over the next few days. You talked about it in our open. How do these players, Fischer, Gibson, Mulipola, who were so hot in Series 1, can they carry it over, or is that pressure and the added responsibility of being a captain, does that start to play a factor? It'll be really interesting to see that over the next few days.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, too, when you're a captain. Not just with the draft and trying to figure out what's going to be the best team for you, but also where to put people when you do finally draft that team, the order in which you want to throw certain pitchers against the other teams. Maybe playing some matchups if you've got the lefties like Sam Fischer has on her team, going up against a lefty-heavy lineup, trying to be strategic in the way that you use the players that you draft onto your team. And you throw in there, too, the doubleheader. And you got to think about how you want to play those pitchers in what games, which arms are going to be available.
3-1 to Fischer. Hit well to left field. That one is foul. You've been on the coaching side, so you know now like what goes into that. Sure, it's probably not as in-depth as what you saw with Ralph and Karen Weekly in Tennessee. I mean, you're not doing as much as those college coaches. This is a little more cut and dry. You have 14 players, you know everybody well, but there's still a lot of responsibility.
There's a ton of responsibility, and I think it's almost even more difficult from the player perspective having to be that coach and the player, because you also have to worry about performing at a high level yourself. From the coaching side, you just set the lineup and you let them go out there and play their game. But for Sam Fischer, Deja Mulipola, Danielle Gibson, even the rookie, having to figure out how to perform out there, but also make sure that your team's in the best possible position to be able to win these ball games and win these innings. And that's why the facilitators are so important as well, to be that other voice that you can really use to try to make sure your team gets wins out theirs.
Korick and Mulipola having a quick conversation. That relationship between pitcher and catcher, maybe more important than ever here at Athletes Unlimited. Jordan Roberts with the bases loaded. Chance to tie or take the lead in a big way here in the 4th inning. I may be biased because it's our first game. I think it's one of the best games we've had in
It's been a
AUX
great
so far.
game.
Inside corner, Roberts didn't like it. It's 0-2 for Korick. There's Rachel Garcia out there for Team Mulipola in her first season with Athletes Unlimited. Korick trying to get out of the jam, put herself in position for the win. She was 2-0 in Series 1. Out in front, got her. Huge pitch for Georgina Korick, the rookie out of South Florida. Hangs a 0 on the board for Team Fischer.
That's how you get out of a bases-loaded jam. Back-to-back change-ups to get Jordan Roberts looking. This pitch absolutely filthy. Korick, the rookie, pulling the string on that one.
Back in San Diego, Team Mulipola leading Team Fischer 3-2 right now, going to the top of the 5th inning. We are now joined by the left fielder Morgan Zirkle for Team Fischer. Morgan, what's it been like? You've got the shorter season this year. It's a little bit more intense, more games, faster pace. What's this 3rd season been like for you?
It's good. It's a good, we keep saying it's like a spring training for the regular season. Just, you know, get back into the swing of things, have fun here in nice San Diego, and just enjoy playing softball again.
Morgan, I want to talk to you about just being able to play on dirt. I know the past couple of seasons you guys have been on the turf in Rosemont. What's it like for you, specifically coming from the left side, to be able to use that hard dirt in the infield?
Yeah, last season I swung a lot, but here with this hard dirt, I definitely want to utilize the slap more. It's not so gentle on your body sliding, but it's really nice to get a slap down like that.
Yeah, I think we heard you talking about, was it diving into the base on the dirt, having to get used to that?
Yeah, it's definitely different, just wearing metal spikes and diving on the hard dirt. It's different, but it makes you, feel like you're playing softball again in the dirt, which is fun.
Now, when you're on turf, do you play in turfs as well, or do you use rubber spikes?
I'm in metal spikes, so I haven't worn those since college, really, so that's an adjustment for sure.
Megan Wiggins leading things off as she skies one to right field, and Rhodes
Shannon?
is under it.
Now, Morgan, I wanted to talk to you, too, a little bit about the wind up there. Of course, the weather is absolutely beautiful here in San Diego, but some of these fly balls have carried a long way up in the air. Do you find that the ball is moving with that breeze up there?
Definitely. There was one ball between me and Vic that looked like it was going to be an easy catch for me. Then I ended up almost in center field. So she asked me mid-ball, was like, "You got it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Just casual conversation while it's really high up in the sky.
That's why I was always glad at shortstop that there was somebody behind me in left field to make all those difficult plays on the balls way up in the air.
Right, yes.
2-0 count to Sierra Romero. Morgan, what's it like? I mean, obviously, teams are changing constantly. What's it like constantly having to get used to a different center fielder and infielders and communicating with them?
I think it's good for us, it kind of gets you knowing everybody's style and what they like, and really just increases the communication you have with your teammates. So I think it's cool to kind of get to know how everyone plays, and I've played with Haley McClinney a lot, I've played with Vic before, so now I'm out here with Shannon too, so it's good just to see the different styles and kind of learn from each other and talk the game a little bit. Where do we think the ball's going to end up?
Was there anybody on this team this week that you were really looking forward to playing with? Morgan, was there anybody this week on this team in particular that you were looking forward to playing with?
Well, I played with Sam and Chitty twice now, so that's been really fun, but I love playing with Vic because we're very similar hitters. We can do a lot of the same things, bunt, slap, hit. So that last at bat, we had a hit and run on the first pitch, and we executed. So that was really fun when you're able to do those things and have that little team communication with people.
Now, do you guys have signs that you make up before the game? Because we know that the teams change constantly, so is that something that you talk about before going into each series?
Yeah, even before our first at bat, we were like, dang, we forgot to say a sign to each other so we can know when we're going, when we want to bunt, stop, and run. So that's what we adjusted to the second at bat, and that helped Vic be safe as well, rather than just me at second, her getting that sack at one. So it was nice for both of us to be safe right there.
Morgan, we really appreciate the access in game like this, but good luck the rest of the way. It's been a blast watching you so far.
Thank you.
Morgan Zirkle out in left field. She has been outstanding her third season out of Marshall. She's been top 6 in the first 2 years of Athletes Unlimited. And that is one thing that I just love. What a catch at first. Chittister steps on the bag, double play, and Chitty is fired up. Wow, what a stab.
A pitcher's best friend is the double play, and Amanda Chittister could not have been positioned more perfectly for this line drive. Low in the dirt, snags it, and immediately turns to get the third out of the inning. Such quick reactions on the corner, making that double play like the veteran that Amanda Chittister is.
"20 inning points on the line here at the bottom of the 5th. Team Fischer trailing Team Mulipola 3-2. Well, fans, it's time to earn points for watching tonight's broadcast. If you're an Unlimited Club member, take out your phone and enter the code on the screen into your Athletes Unlimited app to earn points and move up the leaderboard. The Unlimited Club provides great benefits to our best fans, including voting on league decision, virtual events with players, signed items, unlocking rewards, and more. Download the app on the Google Play or Apple App Store and join the Unlimited Club today. Let's take a look. Our Geico leaderboard. Deja Mulipola, almost 180-point advantage over Sam Fischer, and there has been a change there, or a tie at least, in that third position. Andrea Filler with 476, tying Danielle Gibson, who was our other captain here in Series 2. See Deja Mulipola behind the plate right there.
And here we go.
She's got a new pitcher in the circle, Kaylin Arnold, first-year player out of Florida State, started her career at Tennessee. She's got Amanda Chittister to start off her day in the bottom of the 5th.
Kaylin Arnold likes to work a lot of upspin with her pitches, curveball, rise ball, up in the zone, but she's also got a very efficient changeup that she's going to throw out there. It drops significant as far as the velocity goes between her curve and her rise and that changeup that she's going to bring in there.
Ooh, upstairs, and Chittister went for it. 0-2.
I really feel Amanda Chittister on such a level right there, because I always took hacks at the rise balls because it looks like they're going to be just meatballs that you're going to blast over the park, and right at the last minute, that jump, it ends up being about visor high or helmet high for these batters. Kaylin Arnold moving that curveball way up and out of the zone.
She gave up 6 hits in 2 2/3 innings in the Series 1. 3 of those 6 hits were home runs.
It really seemed like the hitters were zoned in on that rise ball in her last outing.
Good cut from Chittister to stay alive, 1-2.
It's always interesting, too, because we just saw that Amanda Chittister made that great double play to end the top of the 5th inning, and now here with an opportunity to try to get something going in the bottom of the 5th. Also, 20 inning points on the line here.
This is a big one. Team Fischer can score in this inning. Everybody on their team will get those 20 points. This is something, as you continue watching Athletes Unlimited, or if you're new and stay with us, that you'll start to see win points, innings, and games. The entire team gets them, and that is a huge way to move up the leaderboard. Swing and a miss. Arnold gets Chittister. That's 4 points for Kaylin Arnold, and a great start to the bottom of the 5th.
Really like the location of this curveball. Set up with the rise ball on the pitch before. Great rotation on that pitch. about knee-high diving away from Amanda Chittister. It's a really good way for Kaylin Arnold to start off her outing here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now Taylor Edwards looks at ball 1 in the dirt. 0 for 1 with a walk. Just under the 300-point mark and inside the top 30 so far. 1-0 from Arnold. Half-hearted there, and it fouls it away for strike 1.
Seems like these right-handed batters are wanting to swing at that rise ball, and at the last minute kind of holding back, trying not to pull the trigger. Twin sister Tatum Edwards watching on.
And they haven't been matched up yet. And I asked Tatum yesterday, are you hoping that you'll get her? She's like, oh yeah, hoping one of these, next series that I'm with her. But she's definitely rooting for one way or the other, whether she's on the other side or not. She's a facilitator here. 3 facilitators assigned to one team each series, just to kind of help out however the captains deem fit. 1-2 to Edwards outside. If you were a captain, how would you, I think it would almost be easier if you just said, look, all the decisions you want to make, pitching changes, do it, maybe ask me, but I'm going to trust you. How would you do it as a captain with the facilitator?
I would definitely lean on the facilitator, especially for the in-game stuff like you're talking about with the pitching changes, all that.
Edwards deep to right center field. Oh, it goes just over the glove of Rangel Mendez, snuck over the wall. It's deep in the gaps to 225 in the alleys, and Taylor Edwards does it. That's 40 points for her. And an additional 20 for the entire team because that's an inning win.
Taylor Edwards just seems to have the game-changing swings. We saw her do it in Series 1 and here again in Series 2. This is a curveball outside a 2-2 count. She takes her barrel to it and drives it to the deepest part of this field. It's a great swing by Taylor Edwards, knowing that Kaylin Arnold had just struck out her teammate on that exact same pitch, the at-bat before, hunts it in that 2-strike count and ties up this ball game.
That just shows you how much power Taylor Edwards has, because it didn't look like she got all, it almost looked like it was off the end of the bat a little bit, but man, that is huge for the catcher out of Nebraska, longtime pro. Gives her team the 20 points for the inning and ties the game at 3 apiece. And there's Tatum.
There's the competitive sisterly spirit right there. She knows that her twin just tied up the ball game. Maybe inside she's excited for Taylor. Competitor in her is like, man.
Filler right over the bag. Close play, safe at first. Great hustle by Andrea Filler.
This one not hit sharply off the bat of Andrea Filler. But just knowing how hard these batters hit the ball, the corners have really been placed back behind the bag. It almost seemed like Lily Piper sat back on that one just to see, you can just see where she starts, right? She's way behind third base, has to wait for it to hop over third base before she can make a play on it. And because of that, Filler's able to leg that one out. The safe call, not just by the umpire, but also Danielle O'Toole, coaching first base. Pitchers really can do it all, can't they?
There you go. They get that assignment. I think it's almost like, look, you're not going to pitch in this game. You can go to first base, make yourself useful out there.
It's not an easy job over there coaching
first.
first base. I've done it before. A lot of moving parts. You're constantly having to keep your eyes on a lot of different things out there on the field. One of which avoiding line drives hit foul down in your direction.
And that's why I think, you were talking about trusting the facilitators, and it's just like having O'Toole at first. Danielle O'Toole knows the game. She can coach first base over there effectively, and just the facilitators, these aren't just random people plucked off the street. Tatum Edwards has played at a high level, very successful at Nebraska. Ellie Cooper played at Florida State. She was a captain. And, of course, Charlotte Morgan was an All-American at Alabama. Current college coach. These are good softball minds that they've brought in to help. Inside ball 2, 2-2. to Shannon Rhodes, who's 0 for 2 today. A line out to center, and a ground ball to third base. Rhodes from Fort Worth, Texas, started at Oregon with a couple years, and 3 years at Texas. Hit 43 home runs in her college career. Watches one that just misses from Kaylin Arnold. Just one away for Arnold. Game already tied on the Edwards solo home run. This one hit well into left field, gone over the bleachers by a mile, and Shannon Rhodes tacks on 2 more. It's Team Fischer on top 5-3.
This is a great swing by Shannon Rhodes. Another 2-strike count for Kaylin Arnold. She goes back to the changeup, and it almost looked like Shannon Rhodes was anticipating that that pitch was going to come in because she is so perfectly timed up for this pitch. A pitch on the outside corner, but because it's down in velocity, she can absolutely blast that one over the left field wall. Her teammates are really excited about seeing that one leave the yard.
But hey, I don't know, just happens that way sometimes.
That's hitting, isn't it? See a pitch you like, drive it, give your team a lead.
That's her second home run of AUX. Hit one in Series 1. Gets one here in Game 1 of Series 2. It's a big one. They already had the inning points, but now in line to potentially win the game. That's worth 50 points for everybody on the team as we see a pinch hitter in here, DJ Sanders, veteran out of Oregon, Columbus, Mississippi. Chance for her to get some stat points. Catches the outside corner, strike one. 1-1, just one away. The base is empty for Sanders.
You know, we were just talking about how having some of that coaching experience can really help you in Athletes Unlimited, and DJ Sanders is somebody who is just coming off of a season as the volunteer assistant at Mississippi State. Mississippi State hosting their first ever Super Regional this year. Ended up losing to Arizona, but a phenomenal season for the Bulldogs this year, and she's a big reason why they were so successful, along with head coach Samantha Ricketts and the job that the Bulldogs did in 2022.
This is spun awkwardly and almost a great catch at shortstop by Clifton, off her glove. That should go down as a single and 10 points for DJ Sanders.
Sanders a bit jammed up on this one. Kaylee Clifton getting a really good jump on this ball. Look at how far she goes, laying it all out on the line, and it just tips off the edge of her glove, not able to come up with that one cleanly. But that's the type of effort that you love to see if you're a pitcher in the circle, just your defenders doing whatever they can to try to make a play on the ball.
That brings back the top of the order in Victoria Hayward. A pinch run for Sanders over at first base. Zirkle back in as Hayward watches strike one. Victoria Hayward, 10 hits to lead the league. After just not quite 5 games even complete. Chance to add to it here.
I think these slappers are just loving being able to play on this dirt. It's a really quick infield, a hard infield, and we just listened to Morgan Zirkle talk about how she's really gone back to more of her slap game just because the ball bounces so well for these slappers.
Up the middle, chance for 2. Tough throw for Romero. You're not going to get Hayward, though. Sierra laughing a little bit. Knew that one probably never stood a chance, but it's a nice play to get the lead runner.
Look at the positioning, too, all the way up the middle. She's there, one, because the slapper is up, but also to be able to cover second base on the steal, and the ball goes right back to her up the middle. Tries to make that one into a double play. Still a very athletic play over there, even though she didn't get the out at first.
Now little sis trying to do some damage. Sydney Romero fouls the first pitch away. 8 hits total for Team Fischer. 2 home runs in this inning alone to drive in those 3 runs to take the lead. Sydney underneath this one. Left field, Clifton. And drops it out of her glove. Hayward's at third. And that is a rare miss for Kaylee Clifton.
We talked about that wind, that breeze really making the ball move when it's hit high enough in the air. Megan Wiggins was playing all the way back by the fence, so Clifton had to run a long way for this one, but this is a fly ball that just absolutely needs to be caught. She's underneath it, and you could see it just hit off of the heel of her glove rather than going directly in the pocket. And that's what allows this inning to continue on.
There's that breeze that you're talking about. Feels great though. Temperature awesome, but right at about 70 degrees, but there is a little bit of a wind for those balls in the air. Sydney Romero doesn't get any points for that, for just reaching base right here. I mean, it could potentially help them further their lead and win the game, but maybe a tip of the cap to her former Sooner teammate. I appreciate that one. Letting me get on base there, Kaylee Clifton.
I think they're competitors. I don't think Clifton wanted her to get on base there. And she got her feet underneath that ball. And we talked about the breeze and how you're constantly having to move with it. She got there, just hit the glove in the wrong spot.
First and third for the captain, Sam Fischer. 0 for 1, has walked twice. Her patience has improved this season. She's kind of always joked with herself about chasing pitches out of the zone. She's walked a handful of times already in just 5 games. 0-1 misses outside.
You can see her husband looking on right behind her in the stands. Listen to him talk about just the support and how hard she's worked in this offseason to be ready for AUX here.
Swing and a miss right through it. That makes it 1-2. Said she's as advertised. The personality is just like that at home too. I love it. Big pitch for Arnold. Got to get out of it here. Limited damage. Ball 2. Still time for them coming up in the top of the 6th. Just down 2 runs.
Off speed again, just missing. Maybe a little bit inside on that pitch. Tad low.
Runs that one outside. A tough spot to Sam Fischer here with the 2 on and full count.
That 2-2 pitch, that's the one that you have to get a little bit more competitive. Arnold goes for the curveball and it just misses too far out of the zone, and now as a batter in a full count situation, you just feel like the momentum's back on your side because you know that Kaylin Arnold's gonna have to bring something good into the strike zone.
Close, but no call. Arnold wanted it. Mulipola held it. They can't get it and the bases are loaded.
Goes for another curveball. It's a tough location right there. But we have not seen that called all day long. And another bases loaded situation here for Jordan Roberts.
Sam Fischer's picked up 24 points today because of 3 walks. Not to mention the win points that she got in the first and will get here in the 5th.
Well, she was one of the hottest bats coming into this series too. And I think a product of that is the fact that the pitchers are pitching around her a little bit when she's up at the plate. Being very disciplined, very patient in her at-bats today.
Bases are loaded. Hayward over at third base. Sid Romero at second. And Sam Fischer on at first. Jordan Roberts, the 9th batter to come to the plate here for Team Fischer in the inning. Upstairs, ball 1. 2 RBI single in the first and 2 swinging strikeouts Bring her to this spot at 1 and 3, 1-4-3. One, two from Arnold. Another one upstairs.
There's Georgina Korick that struck Jordan Roberts out with the bases loaded back in the 4th inning. And Kaylin Arnold goes with the rise ball just way out of the zone. You could tell that as soon as that one released out of Arnold's hand, Jordan Roberts did not even think about swinging at that pitch and brings it back to an even count.
40th pitch of the inning. Wow, that is close. Arnold wants it.
Roberts has battled back from an 0-2 count, a couple of non-competitive pitches, and then the changeup just barely missing out of the zone, and a high-pressure situation for Arnold in the circle.
Off speed, crush foul. The air on Clifton keeps Arnold from losing any more points on earned runs, but she'd still like to keep her team close enough to have a chance here in these last couple innings. Swing and a miss, got her. A battle from Arnold. 3 runs come across, a pair of home runs. 20 points for everybody on Team Fischer.
Well, it started with Taylor Edwards with that shot out to right field, and then it's Shannon Rhodes sitting on the changeup, blasting that one a long way. Team Fischer has the 5-3 lead.
Take a look at our Geico defensive play of the game. Couldn't have been anything else.
Hot shot off the bat of Deja Mulipola right over to Amanda Chittister, who snags the line drive out of the air and then gets the double play. You can see just how fired up she was after she made that big play.
Gotta love it, and her team just picked up 20 points for winning the 5th inning, and they had stacked 10 points after the 4th was scoreless. They're in a good spot to try and close this thing out, but there are plenty of bats on Team Mulipola that could put a wrinkle in that plan. Haley Wagner back out there in the circle. She will face Tori Vidalis to start the top of the 6th inning. And you really just have to throw that out. What just happened in the bottom of the 5th. Of course, you still want to win the game, but there is inning points on the line. Even if you can't get both those runs back here, you could still get one and get 10 points for your entire team.
That's what I think is so great about this league, because growing up, you're always taught to win every single inning. If you win the innings, then you're going to win the ball games. And here at AUX and Athletes Unlimited, you're rewarded for winning those individual innings.
Lands just foul off the bat of Vidalis. That was incredible that she got a bat on that at all, right up in her chin. It's a 1-2 count.
Tori has great hands up at the plate, able to hit just a wide variety of pitches. I think that speaks to pretty much every hitter, if not every hitter in this league, that they can just hit anything that you bring up there.
Played for Team Mexico at the 2020 Olympics. She's had good finishes too. Finished 8th in her first season back in 2020. 16th last summer, was a member of the all-defensive team. Wagner gets the call in the outside corner. One away.
A backdoor curveball out of the hand of Haley Wagner. And because she's left-handed, she's going to start this one in the left-handed batter's box, and it's going to curve back across the plate. Now, it's really interesting because I think from the right-handed pitchers that we've seen try to hit that outside corner, because it's moving away, they haven't gotten that call. But with the lefties, with the ball curving back towards the plate, they seem to get a little bit more room, a little bit more inches called on the outside part of that plate.
Clifton off the handle. That's going to spin very awkwardly, and heads up play there by Edwards and Wagner to let that go.
All about communication on that one. They could tell that when that ball landed, just how much spin it had on it, because she got jammed up. That one, there was no way that they were going to be able to get Kaylee Clifton out if they tried to make a play on that one, but also, two, that it had enough spin on it that it was going to roll foul.
This is a veteran machine in the circle and behind the dish for Team Fischer. 0-1 from Wagner. Catches that outside corner again.
And if you're going to get it, I would just keep on throwing there. It's really difficult for those right-handed batters to get good barrel on that pitch. Not saying they can't hit it, but that's a really difficult pitch to hit out of the park.
0-2 to Clifton. Goes back to it and just misses. Well, Haley Wagner, she's a perfect example. You know, we talked about Alicia Ocasio telling these players, hey, play as long as you can. Love watching the evolution of Haley Wagner. Played 5 years in the NPF, solid pitcher, but I just think over the years she has gotten better and better. We are seeing still the best of what she has to offer these last few years, I think.
I think she's so successful too because one, she's just so composed out there in the circle. She does not care who's up to the plate, how many runners are on, what the score is. She's going to do her same exact routine every single pitch, but I also think she's worked to continue to develop her off-speed pitch. That's what's been a real difference maker to me. Being able to throw it in any count at different locations. It's one thing to have an off-speed pitch if you're hanging it too high up in the air. We've already seen what happens when you do that today. It is going to leave the yard. But when you can perfect that craft of that off-speed pitch, working down in the zone and even moving a different direction, that's when you're going to start to get outs. And she's not somebody that's going to rack up a ton of strikeouts, and she's okay with that. She is okay with trusting her defense to be able to make the plays behind her.
Off speed, Clifton sat on it. Diving catch, did she hang on? Yes, she did. What a play by Rhodes in right field. That is full extension.
So far today, there is nothing that Shannon Rhodes can't do. Gets a great read on this one. It's an off-speed pitch. You could see it dying right at the last minute, and she gets a great jump, full extension, and snags that one just before it hits the grass. That's a big-time play by the right fielder.
Big smile on her face, rightfully so, for out number 2. And we'll see a pinch hitter for Allie Harrell. It'll be Rachel Garcia. First season of Athletes Unlimited. Was drafted last year, but is unable to play due to injury. Comes back this year, one of the biggest names in the world of softball over the last 5 years. Supreme talent at UCLA. It's great to see her at the professional level.
She just has that clutch factor too. I just remember at UCLA, whenever there was a big moment in the World Series, it always seemed like it was her up at the plate getting the big hit for them. Some of those intangibles that truly make her one of the best to ever do it.
See her at the plate and in the circle this week, and Wagner, outside corner again. Haley Wagner is a machine today, and her team leads it 5-3. Well, there's Taylor Edwards, homered last inning. She'll get another chance, due up second when we come back. Team Fischer up 2, bottom of the 6th coming up. Taylor Edwards is due up second. She has been exceptional so far. This was her earlier today.
Well, and take a look at where this pitch is. It's not a bad pitch, but if you leave the ball anywhere over the white, these hitters are going to capitalize, and that's exactly what Taylor Edwards does here, blasting this one 218 feet, just enough to get it over that right field wall, but just shows you how much power Taylor Edwards has when she swings.
She's due up second. Let's check in with the third member of our team, Key Michael.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Kylie and her sister, Haley. Woo! Haley. I thought she was on the field. So tell me the best story you have about your sister. I already heard it and it's good.
Oh man, I got a couple. One time, so the reason why she is a really great left-handed pitcher is because when she was little, I tried picking her up out of the, what's it called, the crib. And I tried pulling her through the crib up instead of up and over, and I pulled her elbow out of her socket.
Kylie babies don't fit through the crib. You got to take them up and over. But that's why she has maybe a little bit of extra rotation on her arm.
That's why.
And also, if she has beautiful hair, it's because
I decided one day I wanted to play barbershop, and I cut all of her hair off. And it got really quiet. My mom's like, Haley, where are you? And like, Haley, we call her Smiley because she's always smiling and happy. Runs down the hallway, and my mom goes, oh my gosh.
This is mom right here, by the way, and also made you get a bowl cut to match your sister after.
Yeah, I had to get a matching bowl cut haircut.
Let her know.
Yes.
Well, Haley's doing awesome.
Yes.
How cool
So
is it
proud.
watching her? You guys used to play together, and
Yes.
now you're out here watching her.
Yes, it's so great to watch her. I mean, she makes the whole Wagner family and everyone in it just so proud, and I live vicariously through her now because I wish I was able to do what she's doing right now, and she's representing Wagner out there for sure.
Well, it's awesome that you're here, and the whole family is here.
Yes. Woo!
And we'll let you guys get back to watching the action, but thanks so much for being on the broadcast.
Bye. Woo! Go Haley!
Thank you, Key Michael, the third member of our team, as we get our look at Taylor Edwards, trying to extend the lead for Haley Wagner in the circle, who has been tremendous so far. It's an 0-1 count from Arnold, and she's going inside to Edwards, jamming up the power hitter.
Yeah, trying to work the off-speed pitch inside. And that's something, too, as a batter, you know when you just went yard on a pitch, on a curveball outside, that Kaylin Arnold's going to try to attack you with a different pitch. Maybe it be with the off-speed pitch, maybe a rise ball up in the zone. But those are some of the kind of information that you can use from your previous at-bat to take into your next at-bat to try to continue the hot bat that Taylor Edwards has been swinging. And right there, a rise ball up and out of the zone. And a good take.
1-2 to Edwards. A solo home run last inning. Her first hit of the day. She had walked earlier. Down and away from Arnold. Do you want to see Kaylin Arnold in these 0-2, 1-2? Do you want to see more of a challenge from her on these pitches?
Yeah, I want to see some more competitive pitches in those counts, and I don't mean bringing it over the wide of the plate, but just something that's going to make Taylor Edwards think about swinging.
Is that one a little low? Nice play by Piper to get the lead runner over at third, and that's out number one.
Now, to your point, Chucky, I just like those pitches that at least make the batters think about swinging at them. When you get into an 0-2 count and you start throwing pitches way up and out of the zone, pitches way outside, all of a sudden you give all the momentum, all the energy in the at-bat right back to the batter. And I like that changeup low and outside, got Taylor Edwards to hit the weak ground ball over to the left side and record the first out.
Andrea Filler singled and came around to score last inning. Catches the inside corner. Nice first pitch for strike one. Inning points on the line here. Potential for Team Fischer to take 10 more. Filler hitting 400, over 500 points. She is in that third spot. Jumped over Gibson in this game. We'll see Danielle Gibson's team in game 2 coming up later today. One 1 to Filler. Left side foul. She was out in front. Her last at bat last inning, she was out in front of everything and finally kind of dialed it in, slowed it up, and found a spot in left field. There's Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins.
Yeah, getting loose out there in the bullpen. We might not see her again in this game, but remember they have a double header to play, and talked to Danielle O'Toole and Sydney Littlejohn-Watkins before the game, just talking about how there is a bit of a strategy with a doubleheader of trying to continue to stay loose throughout the day.
Left side, off Piper's glove and into left field. Taylor Edwards stays at second base. And that does go down as an error, so Filler will not get 10 points, but a chance to extend this lead and maybe win this inning. There's the Geico leaderboard. Asia Mulipola up there 150 points ahead of Sam Fischer, but Filler has moved into third on her own ahead of Gibson. Looking down this list, I mean, there's just so many big names, and we've talked about it though. We've seen huge days from individuals based on their own stats and their win points. Anybody right now could jump up into the top 10 pretty easily.
And I think you really just want to focus on trying to get those inning points, trying to get those win points. I'm trying to put myself in the mind of some of these players, and I think you could get too consumed with the points if you're thinking too much about the individual stats. If you're going up there trying to hit a double, trying to hit a triple, but rather just focusing on the points, the inning points, those are the types of things that are going to get you the most points, is getting those wins.
Shannon Rhodes planted a couple trees thanks to Aspiration her last time up with a 2-run home run last inning off of Arnold. For every run scored this season, Aspiration will plant 10 trees. 740. That was just entering today. If my math is correct, 820 so far. Just outside, ball 1.
I'd say we're going to have quite the forest by the time that AUX is done.
A 2-run home run was her only hit, her second home run of AUX. Sits in the 31st spot. A little bit lower. Arnold has challenged. These last 2 pitches a little closer. Last one ran a little bit further outside, but really what we were talking about moments ago, she was running stuff feet out of the zone on both ways, but trying to make Rhodes tempt her a little bit here. Swing and a miss. Squeezed by Mulipola behind the plate. That's out number 2.
And a great spot. Not just is it inside, but also it's not too high to where you're not going to get a swing and miss, but here coming in right about belly button high. Rises to about sternum high, a foul tip into the glove of Deja Mulipola for a strikeout.
First pitch catches the outside corner to Morgan Zirkle. She was pinch hit for last time, but re-entered as a pinch runner and back into left field. 1 for 2, singled in the 4th inning. Got the chance to talk to Morgan in left field. Love the access that we get with Athletes Unlimited. Players allowing us to mic them up in the field, interview them in the games, and really get into the mind of what they're thinking during these games. 1-1 from Kaylin Arnold. Just a little bit outside, 2-1. Victoria Hayward waiting on deck. It just feels like a huge moment right here to try to get out of this inning. Three-1. Potential to load the bases with a league leader in hits with 10.
I like the leadership that we've seen from Sierra Romero out there at second base too throughout this game, coming in to talk to her pitchers, try to settle them down in these high pressure moments in the ball game.
That one's across the plate, maybe too much across the plate. McClenny back, over her glove, a 3-run shot for Morgan Zirkle. Ten more points for everybody on Team Fischer as they win the inning here in the 6th. 3 runs for her. Wow.
Well, Chucky, we've seen Morgan Zirkle use the ground throughout AUX in this season. And this one, she did not need the ground at all. She blasts this one out to center field. Again, another pitch that is over the plate, and Morgan Zirkle capitalizes on it.
Frustrating day for Kaylin Arnold. 233 feet on the home run from Morgan Zirkle. That is her first extra base hit here at AUX, and it's a big one.
Not only did she get the home run points, but the inning points as well. That was a huge swing for Zirkle right there.
Plus 10 for everybody on Team Fischer, and they are in a great spot to tally 50 more. With just one more inning of really not a huge collapse, leading by 5.
When we talked about those little mistakes to not just the pitch to Morgan Zirkle, but also the ground ball that Filler hit over to third base, something that I think needs to be fielded cleanly. Had that ball been fielded cleanly and then Kaylin Arnold gets the strikeout to Shannon Rhodes, they would have been out of this inning already.
Instead, the top of the order. Two 2-1 to Hayward. Sydney Romero on deck. 3-1. And there are no breaks for these pitchers. I mean, if you're looking for a hole in a lineup, it's just not going to come. Ground ball right side, base hit.
Seems like a game plan shift in the slappers for Team Fischer, going up there and swinging in their at-bats. We saw Morgan Zirkle leave the yard in the previous at-bat, and then Victoria Hayward standing in, attacking the rise ball and driving it through the 3-4 hole for another 10 points for Hayward.
Now Sydney Romero, and we will have a pitching change as Rachel Garcia is out of the dugout to replace Kaylin Arnold. Just needs one out to get out of this.
And we have a change in the circle for Team Mulipola. Now pitching from Houston.
Today's game is presented by Aspiration, the global leader in sustainability as a service. Rachel Garcia, familiar with this spot. Volunteer assistant coach here at San Diego State. What are you looking for out of her?
Well, Garcia's going to bring the ball with high velocity, different than what we saw out of Kaylin Arnold. She's going to bring it in the high 60s, and she's got a really good curveball, rise ball combination. So similar to Kaylin Arnold in the fact that everything has a little bit more upspin to it. She's also going to have an off-speed pitch, but it's just coming in there a little hotter than what we saw out of Arnold.
Well, celebrate Father's Day at Athletes Unlimited Softball. Games are at 12:30 and 3 o'clock local time. Tickets as low as $15. Bring your glove to play catch on the field with your dad after game 2. Get your tickets at auprosports.com. You're in the area here in San Diego, Los Angeles, come on out. Great crowd today so far. We'll have double headers every day the next 2 days. And the back end of next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Team Gibson. We'll get our first look at Danielle Gibson's team coming up next. 6 Eastern here on ESPNU. Ooh, and that got Romero. You said high velocity. That could not have felt good.
She's running that one off down the first baseline, and that's exactly what you do not want to do if you're Rachel Garcia coming into this ball game. Team Fischer has all the momentum here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Right there, first pitch just missing too far inside. It puts another runner on the base paths.
Anybody ever get you at the dish that you were just thinking, like, please not this person? I just don't want to get hit by her.
A lot of people, I would say, facing Monica Abbott, I was like, please do not hit me, coming in about 73, 74 miles an hour. Jolene Henderson hit me on the elbow one time, and I was not wearing the elbow guards. I did not have those, and that one hurt. That one hurt me for a while.
Former Cal Bear, Jolene Henderson. Fischer fouls it back. Garcia's in front, 0-2 quickly. Just trying to get out of this. They will still have a chance in the 7th to get some inning points. They will need to score in the top of the 7th, or else Team Fischer will automatically take those, and we will not play the bottom of the 7th inning at that point. 0-2 from Garcia. Popped up, in play. Lily Piper makes the play for out number 3. To the 7th we go. Team Fischer in front by 5. There's Danielle Gibson watching Team Fischer take down Team Mulipola to this point, 8-3 as we head to the 7th inning. Our next WNBA matchup, a star-studded Sunday matinee, Brianna Stewart and the Storm at Barclays Center to take on Sabrina Ionescu and the Liberty. Our coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and the app. Could you shoot it at all? Were you a basketball player?
I did play basketball for a while. Yeah,
Okay.
played basketball my freshman year in high school. I was not very good at it.
Okay. I was going to ask, but I appreciate the honesty.
I can shoot. I just could not dribble, which is, you know, a big factor when it comes to playing basketball.
There you go. Haley Wagner, 1 pitch, 1 out on Lily Piper. They're trying to make quick work here. They will get, if the inning ends, no runs scored, they will get 50 points for the win, and they will get an additional 10 points for the 7th inning. That's fouled back by Rangel Mendez.
Wagner's just been so efficient out there. And again, it's that curveball, the backdoor curveball. She's gotten some calls off the plate a bit, and she has just been hammering that zone to the right-handed batters.
Hey, one here, one here.
0-1 from Wagner. Too tall for Rangel Mendez.
Come in here. One here, one here.
That one's in there. Her location has been spectacular.
And they're all pitches that are on the outside part of the strike zone. Again, not missing too much over the heart of the plate, but making it pitches that if they're going to swing at it, it's going to be hard for them to get good barrel on.
Swing and a miss. Haley Wagner is raking in those points for every out that she gets, +4 again.
Just look at the tight spin and rotation on this pitch. Such good late movement too. I think that's a key to pitcher's success out there in the circle, is being able to move the ball late as it's traveling into the hitter.
There's our Geico leaderboard. Have a big adjustment to that when we show it to you at the beginning of Game 2 here in Series 2. And this entire team for Team Fischer gets 60 points. Haley McClenny waits on it and rips it into left field.
It's a really nice swing by McClenny. Just somebody that constantly learns, not just within her own at-bats, but watches her teammates' at-bats, what the pitcher's going to do. And Haley Wagner tries to get this off-speed past her, and it almost looked like McClenny was anticipating it a bit, kept her hands back, and just drove that thing hard through the 5-6 hole.
McClenny on first. Wiggins at the dish. These two have seen each other a lot over the years in Athletes Unlimited, the NPF. Wiggins doubled earlier and scored for Team Mulipola. Inside ball 2. That's upstairs. Patience here from the veteran Megan Wiggins.
This is really the first time that we've seen Haley Wagner miss consistently out of the zone, and I think because of that, Taylor Edwards coming out to have a conversation, not just to calm her pitcher down in this situation, but also to kind of talk about where they want to attack, if they want to attack Megan Wiggins up at the plate.
3-0, we'll see how careful she is. Goes right at her and picks up strike number 1. (3-1) for Wiggins. That misses. 8 points for Megan Wiggins on the walk, first and second.
I think even Megan Wiggins for a second thought that one was going to be called for strike 2. Not sure where it missed.
She certainly didn't sell it. She stood there for a minute.
She's a veteran batter. She knows the strike zone.
I'm all about that too. I think that's such a good point. I've always thought that about really talented veteran hitters. When, like exactly what she just did, you're thinking, hey, if she thinks it's something, it probably is.
Well, and these batters aren't going up there wanting to walk. Now, if the game gives them a walk, absolutely they're going to take it. But these are hitters. They want to swing the bat.
Romero swinging and fouling that off. 0-1. Oh, 2, excuse me. And this could be it for Wagner. 2 outs. Wants to end it here in the top of the 7th. Too far outside. Ball 1. Walked Sierra her last time up. That one just misses.
It's a tough take right there in a 2-strike count, because I think we've seen Haley Wagner get that call in this ball game, that backdoor curve outside to the right-handed batters, and doesn't get the call on that one.
2-2, ground ball off Wagner's glove, and a run is going to score as the throw to third hits the runner Wiggins. Romero stays at first, but Team Mulipola will keep this game alive no matter what now, because they are in line for the inning points.
How about the way that this team has been able to keep this game alive too, stringing together a couple of quality at-bats with 2 outs. Started with Haley McClinney hitting that changeup through the 5-6 hole, Megan Wiggins getting the walk, and then Sierra Romero coming up and driving that one right back up the middle to get her team a run.
And still, there's 2 outs, but there's a lot of pop at the plate right now. One swing of the bat, this thing could get really interesting. But if you're new to Athletes Unlimited, Team Fischer, obviously the home team, winning this game. Even if Mulipola were to get out right here, we will play the bottom of the 7th because there are inning points on the line. There's strike 1 to Deja Mulipola. She'd like to play the bottom of the 7th the old-fashioned way because they're tied or winning this game. They need her to deliver right here.
Yeah, there's that pitch, that backdoor curve. You could see the reaction by Mulipola when that one was called for a strike. Really been kind of inconsistent in this inning. Sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not.
Mulipola was MVP 1 3 times in the first series. Probably get herself back on that MVP stand if she can do something right here in a big way. Two. Takes strike 3. Wagner gets out of a little jam, but 1 run comes across in the 7th.
And another backdoor curveball out of the hand of Haley Wagner. Getting it called for strike 3. Strikes out one of the hottest hitters in AUX and Deja Mulipola. Team Mulipola looking to try to get the 10 points in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Bottom of the 7th, Team Fischer winning. We just want to take one more look at these hitter stat points that they can earn. Just a reminder for you, singles, doubles, triples, home runs, it all makes sense. 10, 20, 30, 40. Stolen base. The only way to lose points as an offensive player is to get caught stealing. You'll lose 10 for that. Team Fischer down a run here in the 7th, which is why we're playing the bottom of the 7th, because there are 10 inning points on the line. So Rachel Garcia, who probably thought her day was done just getting the 1 out in the 6th, does come back out and has a job to do here. Her team would like to grab 10 points here after what has been a little bit of a disappointing day for them as a whole, but they can still all go home with 10 points. The one thing that will not happen, their team will not win. This game is over as far as the whole. We're just trying to solve the inning points in the 7th. 4, 5, and 6 due up for Team Fischer, who will turn around very quickly and play another game. Jordan Roberts will lead things off against Garcia. They will need just 1 run to win this inning. catches the inside corner, strike one. 1-1 from Garcia. Jordan Roberts she's 2 RBI single in the first, and then she struck out 3 straight times in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Swing and a miss.
Roberts seemed like she was somebody that was seeing the ball really well in Series 1 and then started off this game well as well. In past 3 at-bats, you mentioned 3 straight strikeouts. Sometimes that's just the way the game goes. Sometimes the ball looks like a beach ball coming in out of the hand of the pitchers, and other times it looks like somebody's trying to toss you a Cheerio out there.
Swing and a miss. Out number 1, Garcia gets Roberts swinging.
It's really important to note for these pitchers, too, to pay attention to what batters have done in their previous at-bats, because Garcia knows that maybe Jordan Roberts is struggling a bit today, and she just pumps this one over the heart of the plate, challenges her to try to make contact on it. You could tell she was owning that entire at-bat against Roberts.
Fouled off, no chance for Mulipola, but strike one against Amanda Chittister, who was hit by a pitch her last trip up last inning. Chittister announced this is just about it for her. She'll play in the Athletes Unlimited Championship season at the end of July into August. And then she's going to hang it up after what has been an incredible career that started at Michigan. Played for Carol Hutchins there. Tremendous success, and another one. We talked about Haley Wagner just getting better and better and better, and Amanda Chittister, I think, over the last few years has peaked and still going up as she knocks that one into left field.
What can really bring your play to a whole nother level is when you can make an adjustment on an 0-2 changeup, which we just saw Amanda Chittister do. Doesn't try to do too much, just pokes it through that 5-6 hole. And Chuck, you were just talking about the career that Amanda Chittister has had, and I really think she turned it around in that 2019 season. A veteran player, but just took it up to a completely different level, making the Olympic roster as well.
Edwards going toward foul territory, and Vidalis can't make the play. That was really tough. Right up against the netting there in front of their dugout. And another chance for Taylor Edwards.
And you can just see the reaction by Tori Vidalis. She wanted that one. She wanted to make a play on it. Was not able to come up with it.
On the all-defensive team last season for Athletes Unlimited. Edwards way out in front, fouls it away.
Great work, babe, great work.
Taylor, another one from California, along with Rachel Garcia, who's from Lancaster, California, about 3 hours north of San Diego. Did I get that right? The California geography? Not that you've got those dialed in completely, but
I'm not quite up to speed on my California geography. Now, I would say probably without traffic, 3 hours.
This one, tough play. Piper back in plenty of time and makes the grab for out number 2.
It's been a while. Traffic's a little bit different out here in Southern California than it is in Knoxville, Tennessee.
There you go. Just a little bit.
Just slightly.
So that's the part you don't miss.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody likes traffic.
Okay.
Who likes traffic?
That's true. Andrea Filler fouls back the first pitch from Garcia. A good day defensively. The single one came around to score in the 5th, reached on an error and scored last inning. Last chance to keep it alive and maybe get some inning points out of this. Got to be feeling good if you're in that dugout, though, knowing 50 points coming your way regardless.
I think it's something that Team Fischer can carry that momentum over into Game 2. Fischer being the team that's playing the doubleheader today.
Popped up, Garcia does the job. That's 10 inning points for everybody on Team Mulipola. But it's 50 points total for Team Fischer for the win today. It was a very good day for Sam Fischer in her first day as captain.
Team Mulipola.
Team Fischer wins it 8-4 over Team Mulipola. Lily Piper came to play early with the bat, but it was Team Fischer who really showed up late, and they get the job done. 8-4 in game one of our doubleheader. For Madison Shipman, Key Michael, and our entire crew, I'm Chucky Kempf. Team Fischer beats Team Mulipola. Game two coming up in 17 minutes right here on ESPNU.